All right, I got a quick tip for you now. I'm about to bleed the brakes on the Jaggernaut here, and I had a coworker last week complain that he, doesn't have anybody that can help him do bleed the brakes on his car. He's got an imported Skyline he's working on, and he was bemoaning the fact that he's got to watch the fluid in the reservoir. He's got to do this, got to do that, and you can't do it all at once. You can. I'll show you a trick here. This is something I learned at the auto dealership. Take your brake fluid, punch a couple small holes in it, nothing big, just enough to keep it from splashing all over the place. Take your cap off. Some vehicles have a little cup you have to remove to get into here. Take this and turn it up inside. The fluid will only go up until it reaches the bottom of that seal. If it can't get air in there to replace the fluid, it's not going to empty out. Once it reaches the point of that seal, I can leave this upside down here for a year and come back and it'll still be there. So anyways, there's a quick tip, and that keeps you from overflowing, but it also helps you keep this full while you're doing all the pumping of the brakes and using your one-man bleeder in the back. And that's what I'm going to do. I've got a one-man bleeder I'm going to hang off the rear axle because the brakes on the Jaguar are inboard. And I'm going to just run the hose down to my one-man bleeder, and I'm going to hop in the driver's seat and just pump the crap out of it for a minute, and then switch to the next one and pump the crap out of it, and when I'm done, see if I've got a firm pedal. All right, so I just finished bleeding the brakes. I got to add a little bit more fluid to this. This can is completely empty, and that was a pretty significant brake bleed. I did 10 pumps at every corner. I had an inch in the jar when I started, and now I'm up to here. This is my one-man brake bleeder. This is a fancy version. At the track, we usually make these out of Gatorade bottles and clear hose and zip ties. Basically, you want to run the hose down into the fluid in the bottom, and the weight of the fluid keeps whenever you pump, you're pumping air out. It hits the fluid here. It can't suck the fluid back up because it has a weight to it. So you zip tie either side of your hose coming into the bottle so the tube is down there in the fluid. And then you run your clear tubing up to the caliper, but you always have to punch a hole in the cap to let air in, or else it won't bleed right. And I've got a nice hanger here so that I can hang it on suspension components near where I'm bleeding. Handy, homemade, one-man brake bleeder. Basically, I just hung this in places next to the caliper, popped the bleed valve loose, and just pumped 10 times. And I can't see what the fluid's doing, but I can feel in the pedal. I can feel if there's air or anything. And I got solid fluid the entire time. The fluid in this car is old, so it needed to come out. But and I'm not entirely sure that I got it all good, clean, fresh fluid. But I got it good enough to where I can drive the car and get it out of here for a while. I've got some repairs coming to the shop after the tornado we had, and so I got to get the car out, and this will get it to where I can at least drive it, and then later on I've got even more of this fluid. I used to buy ATE Blue, but you can't get that anymore. This is decent fluid. Actually, it's pretty good fluid for the price. It's fairly inexpensive. It's not parts store fluid. Even when this is contaminated, it's got a higher boiling point than parts store fluid. So, and that's something you want to pay attention to, is your clean boiling temp and your wet boiling temp. So anyways, so that's it for this episode. So join me again next time. Thanks for watching.